And continuing our coverage now, Major Garrett is with the Republicans. Major?
Scott, here at Trump headquarters, all eyes are on Ted Cruz. I have learned from a senior Cruz advisor, Ted Cruz will drop out of the presidential race. Let's go to his campaign headquarters live in Indianapolis, Indiana.
That teenage immigrant washing dishes could never have believed it. And yet that's exactly what happened, only in America. In recent months, a lot of people have been talking about what happened 40 years ago at the Republican convention in Kansas City, our party's last contested convention. When I look back at that convention in Missouri, I think of the speech that Ronald Reagan gave to our party. He spoke not of the next 4 years. He saw not the close horizons that are of interest to those who seek to build their own fortunes in the short term. But instead, he looked to the distant times that concern the men and women whose purpose it is to secure the blessings of liberty to their posterity. Ronald Reagan spoke of the next 100 years and of the generations of Americans who would come to know whether our nation had escaped the existential threat of nuclear war, who would know whether our party had succeeded in its fight against the erosion of constitutional freedoms that only grow and multiply under rule of the Democratic Party. Ronald Reagan spoke of the purpose that defined our party then and that must unite and drive our party now. The Republican Party of Ronald Reagan and of George Herbert Walker Bush ensured that thousands of nuclear missiles that the Soviet Union and the United States had targeted each other were never fired, and that Soviet communism was consigned to the ash heap of history. They fought hard so that our American freedoms were not lost to any foreign foe, nor sacrificed in pursuit of any domestic agenda of the Democratic Party. They fought hard so that our American freedoms were not lost to any foreign foe.
So, Scott, Ted Cruz is taking a while to get to the announcement, but he will drop out of the presidential campaign tonight after losing decisively the Indiana primary that he had described and everyone within his campaign inner circle knew was his last stand. There is no credible path for Ted Cruz to deny Donald Trump a first ballot nomination. He was mathematically eliminated himself a week ago, but with the loss in Indiana and expected losses to come in May and on the final contest June 7th, there was no longer a credible mean by which Ted Cruz could argue he was an acceptable alternative to Donald Trump, and he and his campaign forces could stop Donald Trump's momentum and deny him that first ballot nomination. And so this will be Ted Cruz's exit from the presidential stage in Indiana, a place he thought might be the place where he could resurrect his campaign and halt Donald Trump's march to the GOP nomination.
Major Garrett reporting the breaking news tonight that Ted Cruz, the junior senator from Texas, will be dropping out of the presidential race. This was wrapping up to a large extent last Tuesday when Cruz came in third out of 5 states that were voting then.